Hi everyone, so apologies for no updates for a few days. We are in the process of moving to a bigger studio, but it's taking a little longer than we expected. I've had to just unpack some of my equipment and basically put together the studio on a table. But what we're here to talk about today is Forza Horizon 2. This is the latest game from Microsoft as a first-party exclusive title made by their own development teams. Featuring over 200 cars and an open world driving experience, this is truly one of the great driving experiences you are going to have this year. Having had a look at Drive Club and a number of other driving games coming out in 2014, Forza Horizon 2 sets the bar incredibly high for everyone else to follow. With over 200 cars, a massive driving expanse across Europe, and hundreds of different events to take part in, this game really does pack in value for money. A lot has been said about Microsoft's ability to hit high resolutions and frame rates with the Xbox One, but I'm here to tell you that Forza Horizon 2 hits 1080p at 30 frames a second, rock solid stable, 99.99999% of the time. There are the occasional hiccups, but these seem to be when the game is first loaded. For around the first 20 minutes or so, the chance of seeing a frame crash and stutter does seem to increase quite dramatically, but these are very few and far between. In over 20 hours of gameplay, I think we only saw a frame crash and stutter a handful of times, not a major problem in our opinion. Forza Horizon 2 provides an open world driving experience with events spread around the map in 6 hubs. Between each of these championship events that take in 4 races, you'll have to drive between them, taking on a kind of guided tour almost of the region. These aren't races, but they provide some of the most thrilling experiences you'll have, tearing through the countryside in your high-performance sports cars. The races themselves get progressively more difficult, using the Forza Drivatar system we've seen from Forza 5. It all works incredibly well, and the difficulty does tend to ramp up quite nicely as you're playing. Towards the end of the whole championship, as it were, things become quite tricky, and it will be a challenge to take first place. The car physics here, across the wide range of cars we've tried, is spot on. It tends to fuse together the action-orientated need for speed style of driving with Forza 5's more sedate simulation of driving. Merged together, it provides a really compelling experience, always keeping you just on the edge of your own ability to control the car, but never making things so difficult you get frustrated. The rewind mechanism works very well here, although at times it can sometimes feel like a bit of a crutch. You're never really in any danger of really messing up a race because you can simply rewind and have another go. This can take some of the challenge out of Forza Horizon 2, although depending on how aggressively you use the rewind feature, you can balance that in with your own skill quite easily. Sometimes it's better to rewind, other times it's better just to correct your mistake and try and push ahead as fast as you possibly can. The wealth of content here really is staggering, although the special events that have you racing against a variety of different vehicles such as trains or aircraft feels a little bit more like filler content than anything that really adds to the overall experience of Forza Horizon 2. It's cool, it creates some great moments, but because of the way they've structured those particular driving experiences, you're not really in any danger of losing the race, as it were, until right on the very last checkpoint. What we've found is if you simply floor it on the last checkpoint, you should usually be able to win. It does seem that the game mechanic there is not exactly set up to give you a real challenge. Forza Horizon 2's online aspects are really well done. They've managed to merge together here the open world with the multiplayer lobbies in a way that keeps it all sitting live in the world. Effectively, you join a multiplayer open world session. You will then be placed into a session with around 30 other cars, 30 other players. You can then join together to do particular races, or you can do cross-country events where you have to drive around the map, seeing who is the best, basically. Car meets provide another way for you to show off your cars and the colour schemes and liveries you've come up with, and it all creates quite a nice socially cohesive event. The online aspect, as with all driving games, can be a little frustrating, suffering from the age-old problem of I'm bumping you off the road and now you're at the back of the pack and everyone else is half a mile ahead of you. It can occasionally lead to a driving experience that could be best described as I'm driving on my own again. But it works well, and Xbox Live holds up beautifully here, with no lag or perceived glitching as a result of the online play. A special mention must really be made here for how well the graphic engine does hold up. Other than the occasional glitch that I've mentioned earlier, the game is beautiful. Even at 30 frames a second, you really don't notice that you're only getting half the number of frames here. And I think we're really seeing a kind of common theme now with open world games tend to stick at around 30 frames a second. Where there's a more confined and occluded game space, then 60 frames a second is easily achievable. Like I say, as long as a game is hitting 1080p at 30 or 60 frames a second, I think we can truly call a game next generation, and Forza Horizon 2 really does live up to the next generation title. It does a beautiful job with its game engine and its gameplay mechanics. Everything's working extraordinarily well here. Having spent some time with both Drive Club and the Crew Beta, I can confidently say Forza Horizon 2 is going to take the crown this year as the best driving game available on next gen. It's an absolute lightning in a bottle moment. Everything comes together beautifully to create a package of driving that is compelling, and you just want to keep racing, unlocking more cars, more events, and exploring this gorgeous open world that's been created for us. Forza Horizon 2 is probably going to be the driving game of the year, and it's going to be up at the top of the list for Game of the Year as well. Thanks for watching. Do please subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch, and please like and comment on these videos as well. We love to chat.